Hey guys, welcome to another Elder Scrolls Online Saturday, and we are getting closer and closer to the launch. We're 25 days away right now, but we're actually, for early release, we're only 20 days away, so we're just getting so close, and I'm really pumped for it. I really just can't wait, and they're making some really awesome changes, which I'm going to talk about later in the video. But yeah, they're really working hard on the game, trying to get it ironed out before launch, which is really good. So yeah, really close to launch, and I'm sorry that this video is a day late. I had some major technology problems last night. All my sound stuff stopped working, my computer basically just stopped working, but I got everything back up and running. But I really do have to apologize just because it's another Elder Scrolls Online Saturday, not actually on Saturday, and I really do try to stick to the schedule. It's just I went to record last night and I spent like 2 hours trying to fix the problems and I couldn't, but everything's all good now, so let's jump into the episode. So today we're going to be covering when the next beta test is. We're going to talk about all the new changes to the game that's been made in like the last week, and then we're going to go into my post-launch content wish list, then the developer question of the week, and then that'll pretty much wrap up the episode. So first off, I want to talk about the next beta test. I assumed that the last beta test was going to be the last one, seeing as we're like 20 days away from launch, from the early release. But no, they actually tweeted that we are going to get another one. So it wasn't this weekend, so my expectation is that it is going to be next weekend, just because I don't think they want to make another beta so close to launch. Companies usually like to leave a little time between launch and the beta just to get people excited for the game. So I would definitely expect another beta next weekend, which is super awesome. And I'm really just glad that they're really testing the game, because I don't think they're doing the beta at this point to like try to get more people playing the game or try to get the name out there. I really think they really are trying to iron out the problems with the game, and that's super cool. And they're really working hard, and I can really tell. So yeah, probably another beta test next weekend, which is really cool. So I just wanted to go over the new changes to the game. There are some really cool ones. So first off, whenever you die, there's going to be a death recap. So when you die, it's going to tell you what or who killed you, and then it's going to give you like a summary of the last 5 events which led to your death, which is really cool because it helps you get better if you know what caused your death, and then it'll also give you tips to help you not die. So it's pretty cool, and yeah, I never heard anyone asking for this. It's just kind of a nice thing they added, so that's pretty cool. Another thing they added is a field of view slider. And then for PvP, you can choose not to be leveled to level 50. Now, usually everyone's leveled to level 50, but you're not as powerful as the people who are actually level 50 and have earned it. So say you're level, I don't know, 45, and you decide that you don't want to be level up, you can choose to do that. And so, I don't know, that's just good because it gives you more choice. Another thing they added, and this one is super cool, is that you can pick up more items around the world. So as you're walking around the world, you probably found a lot of items seemed like they were almost cardboard. You couldn't interact with them in any way, which is really weird for an Elder Scrolls game. So for an example, the thing I kept doing is like I wanted more weapons, so I went to the Fighters Guild and there were like these stacks of weapons and these armor racks, but I couldn't pick any of them up, and they thought I could, but you couldn't. So that's one of the things they're going to change. There are going to be more items in the world to pick up and interact with. And the example they gave was actually what I was talking about, like armors and weapons racks will actually have weapons that you can pick up on them. And this is pretty cool. And it just makes the game more like an Elder Scrolls game, and they're really trying to make the world feel more real. They did that by adding collision detection, and now we can pick up more objects in the world. So really, the game is just getting better and better. I'm super excited for this change. I think it'll make the game a lot better. So another quick thing is that they're trying to reduce the amount of time you're separated from your group members because of quest phasing, and so they're testing different ways of doing that out right now. So that's pretty much it for the changes. All of those will probably be in the next beta test next weekend. Maybe not all of them, but I know like the collision detection and no starter islands, all those changes will be in the beta, and some of these might too. So we'll get to see how the game has changed from our input, so that's pretty cool. So another thing that got me really excited, probably more excited than this, is that we're getting more news about adventure zones coming soon. So I've heard the name, and I'm sure you guys have too, adventure zones. When they talk about PvE, what do you have for PvE? Oh, we have adventure zones. But they haven't like talked about it at all. So more news about that is coming soon, which is really awesome. We're also supposed to get some more news about different crafting professions, so I'm excited for that as well. So that pretty much ends it for all the news this week. As we get closer to launch, we're getting really slow news weeks. So I figured now that we all kind of know what to expect from launch, I kind of go into what we can expect after launch, and pretty much just talk about the post-launch content and what we're going to get for our monthly subscription fee. So I'm sure you guys all know you have to pay $15 a month for Elder Scrolls Online, and because of that we should be getting good content every month. So the two big things that I want and I think the Elder Scrolls needs to have with their post-launch content is, one, we have to get $15 worth of content every month. And when I think of $15 of content, I think of like a Skyrim DLC. Dawnguard was probably, I would consider that $15 worth. And maybe even Dragonborn. Dragonborn I probably would have paid more for. That was a really great DLC. But I think the post-launch content releases have to be just as big as those DLCs. I've heard lots of complaints from other people who subscribe to MMOs that they just don't get enough content every month, and I think the perfect example of that is World of Warcraft. I heard lots of people complaining. I was never a big WoW guy, and I can't really speak for that, but I know I have heard big complaints, and they have lost lots of subscribers, probably because of that reason. So they need to make sure they're giving $15 worth of content every month. Another thing that I really want them to see is to just take the M rating and run with it. So I don't expect the game to change that much. I mean, they got the M rating late in development, so that's fine. But now that they have the mature rating, they really have nothing to lose. They can make this as much of an adult game as possible with the post-launch content. They can add more gore and just more things that make the game adult, just more adult-oriented content. Like, when I think of an adult RPG, I think The Witcher, which is just an amazing series. So I just see no reason for them to hold back. I mean, they have nothing to lose. They already have the mature rating. There really is no excuse not to, make this a very adult MMO. So I really hope they just take that rating and run with it. I think it will make the post-launch content a lot better. Another thing I want to mention about the post-launch content is that there is 5 years of post-launch content currently planned. Now, that's not to say that we won't get more than 5 years, but they already have all 5 years pretty much planned out. Not to say it's all set in stone, but they are planning on doing 5 years of content, which is super awesome. It means this MMO is just going to have so much longevity, and I'm super excited just for all the content. The game is going to change so much and get so much bigger over those 5 years, and I'm just super excited. The idea of this game lasting for 5 years and to get new content every month for 5 years, it makes me really excited. So that's pretty much it for the news for post-launch content. So now I thought I would talk pretty much about what I want to see, pretty much my wish list for post-launch content. So most of these are my ideas and things I thought of, but when they're not, I'll tell you guys. So first off, we need to see the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood pretty soon. This is something that should have been in the game at launch. I have no idea why ZeniMax decided not to put it in, but it needs to be in the game, probably as one of the first monthly releases. So obviously with those two guilds, we also need a crime system, which again should have been in the game at launch. I don't know why it wasn't. I don't know who decided that, but it was really stupid. But again, this needs to be in the game as one of the first things to make it a complete Elder Scrolls game. With the crime system, I would love to see some sort of pickpocketing, and I'm not talking about stealing actual players' objects, but maybe every player, when you pickpocket them, has randomized loot that you could take. I think that'd be really cool, and then we could get a new skill line, and I just think that would be a really great addition to the game. So another thing with the crime system is that players could have bounties, and then if certain players go and defeat that player or capture that player, if they could collect the bounty, I think that would be really cool. The only problem I see with that is that the player, wouldn't even be safe in his alliances zones, and that could be a problem. But I think that would be a really great addition to the crime system. I do hope they add that. Another thing I really would love to see them add is Dark Brotherhood contracts. So let's say this one guy is owning me in PvP. I could set a Dark Brotherhood contract out on him, and then one of the members of the Dark Brotherhood, a real player, could go and assassinate him and then get money for that. And I think this would be really cool. I know a lot of people have asked for this. This isn't just my idea. I think it would be really great. I think maybe the player who makes the contract would have to perform the Black Sacrament just to be lore friendly, and also that way not everyone can do it. I think you would have to gather all the materials, and maybe it would cost a lot of money to do, because you don't want everyone just hiring the Dark Brotherhood to assassinate each other. But if it was like an expensive thing that you could do, I think it would add a lot of depth to the Dark Brotherhood and make it kind of almost more real in the world if like players could hire the Dark Brotherhood to do contracts. I think it'd be fun for the person hiring the Dark Brotherhood and also the person who's actually carrying out the assassination. I think it would be a really great addition, and I hope they do add that. So one idea the Shoddy cast came out with that I really do like is that when they add the Imperial City, if there could be an arena, that'd be really awesome. It would be lore friendly because obviously the arena was in Oblivion, and it would be really great if you could, you know, play small battles, because Cyrodiil, it does have some small, you know, fighting action, but it's mostly large-scale battles. I think if there was an arena where you could do one-on-one combat, I think that would be really awesome. I think it would be really popular. You know, it would be lore-friendly. I think maybe when you start, you'd have to either join the yellow or the blue team. I think it would be really great, and, you know, players could bet on different matches. I think it would be a really great addition. I really, really, really hope they add it, because I think it would be really smart, and it would be a really just great move. I would love to see sort of new siege engines or new siege weapons, because the siege weapons are such a big part of the PvP. If we could see things like huge ladders that you could put on the sides of sieges, and like you could try to climb up, or maybe like the people on top of the keep could like push it over. Maybe even siege towers that you like put drawbridges onto the keep and run onto them. I think that'd be really cool, because right now the only way to actually get in a keep is to, you know, knock down a wall, and that's okay, but I think it'd be cool if there was a way that you could like sneak in behind the keep and like put a ladder and climb up, and then, you know, just like completely hit them without them knowing what happened. I think that would be really cool, because right now it's almost impossible for one player to take a keep. I mean, that's the way it should be, because obviously there should be huge siege battles for keeps, but I think it'd be cool if you could like sneak behind enemy lines, you know, use a ladder to climb up in the keep, you know, assassinate all the guards there and take that keep without that alliance even knowing. I think that would be really awesome, and it would allow for some more individual play, which would be really cool. So the next thing on my list is new zones. I think obviously we need new zones, and I'm sure they're going to add this. I'm sure they already planned on it. And there are lots of new zones that they could add. They only did add a little bit of what Tamriel actually is. They probably haven't even covered half of the landmass of Tamriel, so there's definitely a lot of areas to explore and add new quests and things like that. So they definitely should do that. Another thing I really want is new skill lines, and I really would like skill lines that you have to find around the world. Obviously, when we get to Dark Brotherhood and the Thieves Guild, we'll get skills for that. But also things like, I don't know, we have the Vampire and the Werewolf, and you have these, obviously have to become a vampire or werewolf to find those. I think it would be awesome if they added more like that. I think that would be really cool. And also, if they get new weapons that you get skill lines for, like crossbows and spears, that would be really cool. You know, maybe like a werebear eventually skill line would be really great. Just things like that. New skill lines is definitely important because it allows you to customize your character even more. So they should definitely add some of those. I would definitely like new ways to customize your character. Like I said in my last video, new hairstyles, new, I don't know, new facial hairs, new tattoos, things like that. Things that you could just keep changing your character as you play would be great, because, you know, eventually you do get bored of the way your character looks when you've played for like a year. It'd be cool to be able to change that up. I would love to see some sort of follower system. Right now there is no follower system in Elder Scrolls Online. I would love to be able to, you know, get an NPC to follow you. And you guys might say, well, it doesn't make any sense, but they could instance it in a way that, like, if someone has the same follower as you do, it just kind of looks like a, I don't know, a random NPC besides yours. So I think that would be a really cool addition. Followers would definitely be appreciated, I think. Next is on my list is one of the biggest, I think, and that's player housing. So right now Elder Scrolls Online doesn't have player housing, and I think that was a huge mistake, because player housing allows you to really feel like you're part of the world. When you log off and you just sort of disappear, it doesn't feel like you're a lasting part of the world. But when you have a house that you go to and you just sleep and then you log out, I think it makes you feel more like you're actually part of the world. Other than that, it's awesome to be able to have a house. I would love if they were, if they let you like customize where it was, customize how it looked. If you have like a farm where you could harvest foods and things like that, I think that would be a great addition, and I think they probably do plan on adding that after launch, so I can't wait for that to be in the Elder Scrolls Online. Next is marriage. So right now you can marry, you can kind of marry between players. There are the Rings of Mara. It's not necessarily a marriage. I guess they call it like a friendship bond. I'm sure you could use it as a marriage for role-playing, but I would really love to be able to marry an NPC. That was a part of Skyrim. I just think they should add it in this game. I think it'd be really cool. Other than that, I think adoption would be kind of cool. Obviously, player housing would have to come before this. But I don't know, I liked adoption in Skyrim, so I think it would be cool if they added it in the Elder Scrolls Online. Again, if you have like a wife and like kids, I think it makes you feel like you're more part of the world, which is really important in any Elder Scrolls game, and especially in Elder Scrolls Online, because you're battling the whole, it's an MMO, not an Elder Scrolls game. I think they should do everything they can to make it feel more like an Elder Scrolls game. So I think marriage, adoption, and player housing is really important for that. I'd also really love to see guild halls, places your guild can meet. Maybe you could customize the way they looked. I think that would be really great. I think that would be really just a great addition, and another addition that should really be added. So next we also have new weapons. So I would really love to see crossbows, spears, maybe even some new weapons, but just those off the top of my head. New weapons would come with new skill lines. I think we really do need new weapons to keep playing with to make the gameplay fresh. Now, I would love some sort of quest where that has to do with Dawnguard, because keep in mind that the Dawnguard was around this time period. So if they could add like a Dawnguard themed release after launch, I think that would be really awesome, and it would be a thing that lots of people liked, because obviously we could relate to it from Skyrim. I would love to see carriages. Now, I know we have mounts. I would love to see carriages where you can a bunch of guildmates could get in one carriage and ride someplace. I think that would be really cool, even if just kind of for sort of a novelty thing where you can just ride around like one of your alliance's zones, or maybe you could even do it in PvP. But I think carriages would be really cool. I would love to see some sort of mounted combat, because mounts are a really important part of PvP. I would love to be able to fire arrows to my horse. I think that would be really cool. And other than that, I would love to see some sort of quest that has time travel. It would be awesome if you could time travel back to a time, or I guess forward to a time that we had already seen in an Elder Scrolls game. I think that would be cool. I'm not sure how they would do it. We have seen time travel in the past with other Elder Scrolls games. There was a quest in Skyrim that had you doing it. I think it would be cool to visit another time period that you saw in another Elder Scrolls game. I think that would be a nice little quest, so I think they should add that. So that's pretty much my whole wish list for what I want to see in the Elder Scrolls Online. Tell me if there's anything that you guys think I missed, and just tell me that in the comments below. So now let's get into the developer question of the week.
Hello, my name is Brent Keith, and I'm the lead for console testing here at ZeniMax Online Studios, and here is your question of the week. Many of you have had an opportunity to explore Tamriel during the beta. What is your favorite location, quest, or NPC so far?
So let's start off with my favorite location. So I loved Bleak Rock Isles. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I just loved it. I think because it reminded me of Skyrim, which is of all time just my absolutely favorite game ever, and I think that's probably why it's my favorite zone. It was small, it was a star island, which I know people hate, but really I don't know how to explain it. I loved the area, and I thought it was great. I'm not saying that it was necessarily had the best quest or anything, but it was my favorite area to explore and run around. My favorite quest, I don't know the name of it, but it was in the Altmerry Dominion area. I had just run out of quests in my log, so I figured I would just run in one direction, and I came across this town that was kind of had this plague going around, and I had to help the people, and I uncovered this conspiracy, and it was really cool, and I really just liked it. I think part of why I really liked it was that I didn't find it on my mini map or anything. I just kind of ran in one direction and ended up finding it. Not that there is a mini map. I think it was just because it reminded me of kind of the Elder Scrolls experience of just running in one direction and finding a quest. So my favorite character, that would have to be the Khajiit in the Altmerry Dominion quest line. So I'm not sure of his name, but he's pretty much gives you every quest in the Altmerry Dominion quest line. I think he was a really great character, really well developed. So that's pretty much my list. Tell me in the comments what you guys, your favorite list, and that's pretty much it for the developer question of the week. I know you guys haven't been sending me questions, and I really haven't been asking for them, but as we stop getting more news and more news because we're getting closer to launch, it'd be awesome if some of you guys could ask me some questions just so I have more stuff to talk about on my Elder Scrolls Online Saturday. So yeah, so if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So that pretty much just does it for this video. I just want to quickly tell you guys that I do have a guild. It's the Bearborn Clan. It's sort of a guild of warriors, but it also has a assassin sect as part of it called the Black Claw. So if you guys are interested, there's a link in the description. It's a role-playing and PvP guild mostly, although we will be doing some PvE stuff. There's no requirements or anything like that, and we'd be happy to have more players. So if you're interested, just let us know and go to the forums and introduce yourself. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Probably have a Dishonored video coming up tomorrow night about the leaked information about the next Dishonored, which I'm super excited about. Dishonored is probably one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. So that pretty much does it for the video, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.